From Hogzilla to the real-life Godzilla, here are 10 giant strange creatures that you need to know about right now. Number 10. The Megabat. The megabat is the largest species of bat on the entire planet. So, how big are they exactly? Mega big. This giant species of bat can grow to have a wingspan of over 5 feet. All the photos you've seen online of these massive bats hanging upside down looking like Count Dracula are 100% real. The bats are properly known as golden-crowned flying foxes, and they can be found creeping out people in the Philippines. It is the largest species of bat in the world, though its body only grows to be about a foot in length. Its body is relatively small when compared to the size of its colossal wings. But as soon as they stretch and open their wings up, it's over. Well, not really. This bat isn't going to suck your blood or turn you into a monster vampire. It primarily eats fruit and flower nectar. The megabat evolved from an even more frightening bat-like animal that lived over 31 million years ago. These huge bats have the incredible ability to sustain a heart rate of over 700 beats per minute. They have huge lungs that can help them to fly extremely well. And at the end of the day, they are actually pretty cute. These big bats almost look like adorable flying foxes, hence the name. Number 9. The Galapagos Godzilla. It turns out that Godzilla is kind of real. The closest thing we have on Earth to an actual Godzilla is the Galapagos marine iguana, which is completely unlike any iguana you've ever seen anywhere else on Earth. They don't shoot laser beams out of their mouths, and they won't stomp all over Hong Kong, but they are still frightening in their own right. These obscure creatures can only be found in the Galapagos Islands. They have evolved an incredible ability to forage for food underwater, and they all look like miniature Godzilla monsters. They're normal iguanas, but bigger, cooler, and they spend a significant amount of time under the water. They are excellent swimmers. Since marine iguanas are cold-blooded, their dark skin helps them to absorb lots of heat from the hot sun so they can dive deep into the cold ocean. They can't breathe underwater, but they are able to hold their breath for an impressive amount of time. These giant lizards crawl like goblins across the black lava rocks on the outskirts of the Galapagos Islands, foraging for yummy plants and feasting on small marine critters. They can grow to be about 5 feet long. That's a big lizard. But even though the marine iguanas are fascinating, Charles Darwin was not a big fan. Charles Darwin travelled to the Galapagos Islands to study his theory of evolution. In one of his diaries, Darwin wrote that the marine iguanas were disgusting, clumsy lizards and called them imps of darkness. How would you describe the Galapagos marine iguana? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. Number 8. Giant underwater tube monster. Divers recently discovered a giant amorphous blob stretching through the ocean like a huge blue underwater snake. This giant and strange creature is unlike anything else on our planet. It was photographed by a videographer named Steve Hathaway off the coast of New Zealand. He had been searching for the mysterious snake-like blob for over 10 years and had never seen one up until then. The creature was about 26 feet in length and floated through the water like an extra-large shoelace. It's known as a pyrosome, and it's actually a colony of small sea creatures linked together to form a giant mass of floating life. There isn't much to know about these strange giants. They are sometimes bioluminescent. Scientists have referred to them as unicorns of the sea, and they were originally spotted by sailors in the 1800s who thought they were glowing monsters slithering under their boats. Pyrosomes also range in size. According to Lindsay Sala from the Scripps Institution of Oceanography in California, these collections of sea critters can grow to be over 60 feet long, nearly triple the size of the creature captured on video by Steve Hathaway. Number 7. The Giant Anteater. Giant anteaters are some of the coolest animals in the world. They are also some of the strangest and most misunderstood. According to the Smithsonian National Zoo, a giant anteater has a tongue that is 2 feet long. That's like from your knee to your foot, all tongue. It's also able to flick its giant tongue in and out of its mouth up to 150 times every minute. And that's not all. The giant anteater's tongue is coated in a special type of sticky saliva that makes it easy for slurping up ants and termites. In the wild, they try to eat up to 30,000 per day. They also like honey and fruit juice. Of course, with such a big nose, the sense of smell is very important to all anteaters. This is how they find the species of ants and termites to rip into their nests. Anteaters only spend a couple of minutes feeding on a nest though, and only a few thousand insects are removed at a time, and then the nest is abandoned to repairs. The anteaters circulate around their territories, feeding lightly here and there, never completely destroying any one nest, and therefore never eliminating any of their food source. As for the full size of a giant anteater, they can grow to be up to 8 feet long. These animals are way bigger than people expect them to be. If the anteater was standing on its hind legs, it would literally be taller than almost anyone on Earth. These animals live in Central America and South America. They spend all their time munching on ants and termites, and thankfully, they have not yet been placed on the endangered species list. There's still lots of giant anteaters running around. They can even gallop like a horse at up to 30 miles per hour. Number 6. The Namuras Jellyfish. Namuras Jellyfish is by far the most intimidating jellyfish in the world. It might not be the longest, but it's definitely one of the largest. Plus, its growth rate is simply outstanding. In less than 12 months, the Namuras jellyfish will grow from being as small as a single grain of rice to larger than a human being with a weight of up to 450 pounds. The diameter of the jelly's bell also grows to about 6 feet. That means that in a single year, the Namura jellyfish grows from a speck of dust to the size of an African lion. How does the jellyfish get so big? It feasts non-stop on plankton using its hundreds and hundreds of microscopic mouths. It also has tentacles poisonous enough to kill a full-grown human, and they are efficient at keeping away predators like leatherback turtles and swordfish. These jellyfish are so big that in 2009, a fishing trawler capsized just trying to haul one up in a net. Number 5. Hogzilla. One of the biggest and most unbelievable pigs in the world was Hogzilla. Hogzilla was a hybrid between a wild hog and an ordinary pig. After it was shot and killed by a hunter named Chris Griffin in Georgia, original reports had the hog being 12 feet long and weighing over 1,000 pounds. While some dispute the exact length and weight, it was still a monstrous pig. And to be quite honest, it's hard to believe that such a giant pig-hog hybrid exists. And yet, there are even more of them. There was another giant pig named Hog Kong who weighed over 1,100 pounds and was also shot near a farm in Georgia. Then there was Big Bill, a pig from Tennessee that allegedly weighed over 2,500 pounds and held the record for being the biggest pig in the world. Not exactly your cute little piggy from the Babe movies. Number 4. The giant footlocker rat. What's more disgusting than a giant hog? How about a giant rat that was found inside of a footlocker in the Bronx? New York typically has some of the biggest and meanest rats in the world. Well, the rats have apparently moved into shopping centres. The rat that was recently discovered by staff members at the footlocker was estimated to be over 3 feet in length, according to Business Insider. It's not exactly clear how the rat ended up in Foot Locker. Maybe it was trying on some sneakers. But in any case, it was still a pretty disgusting thing to find inside of a shoe store. Oddly enough, a similarly sized rat was found shortly before this incident in Brooklyn inside of a housing project and was killed with a pitchfork. If you were thinking about moving to New York, you better keep in mind that there are giant rats on the loose that look like Splinter from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Number 3. Enormous tiger shark. If you're the kind of person who's scared of great white sharks, just take a look at this enormous tiger shark that was recently captured by a commercial shark fishing boat off the coast of Australia. This monstrous shark was around 18 feet long. That's bigger than a car. It's also considerably larger than an average great white shark. Photos of this huge beast appeared online and immediately received outrage from the local community, with people comparing the death of the shark to the death of Cecile the lion. Of course, the shark fisherman hadn't killed the shark intentionally. The man who caught the shark told local authorities that he had actually been trying to catch a smaller 6-foot hammerhead shark when the tiger shark appeared out of nowhere and just ate it. It was a total accident. But believe it or not, this comes at a strange time in Australian history, as the Daily Mail reported that there was a vigilante group of surfers planning a secret culling of sharks in the area after a string of deadly attacks. And yeah, if there are 18 feet sharks swimming around, someone is bound to get attacked. Number 2. The mega stick. The biggest and one of the weirdest insects in the world is the Chan's mega stick. It's a type of stick insect with a long, slender body, which was first discovered by a Malaysian naturalist back in 1989. There is a specimen currently sitting in the London Natural History Museum that measures almost 2 feet in length with its front legs fully extended. This bizarre stick insect lives primarily in Indonesia, and almost nothing is known about its biology. And that's not a big surprise, considering Chan's Megastig literally looks like a stick. Even if you're looking for one, it's doubtful you'll ever see it way up in the canopy. It literally just looks like a twig and just blends in with all the other branches. Biologists do know that stick insects lay eggs individually and throw them out of trees, where they land on the forest floor and hatch later onto the soil. Nobody has any clue as to how many of these stick insects are left in the world, considering it's hard enough just to find a single specimen. Number 1. Mutant Pigs. Shocking footage has recently been released showing a genetically modified mutant pig in Cambodia, which a farmer managed to breed using what can only be described as mad science. The pigs seen in the footage are jacked, with muscles rippling across their entire bodies. And even though the farmer in Cambodia is proud of his muscled mutant pigs, the rest of the world is a little freaked out. And that's because these things don't look natural. They have dramatically increased muscle, making them look like buff pig hulks. Some people have accused the farmer of using steroids and growth hormones to beef up his pigs in the quickest and easiest way possible. The whole point of creating muscly pigs is to produce leaner meat at a higher price. According to local reports from the Mirror News, this also happened in 2015 when Korea and China tried to recreate mutant pigs using a single gene alteration. But in these experiments, only 13 out of 32 mutant pigs survived to become 8 months old, and only one of them was technically healthy. But keep in mind that this was 5 years ago. As technology and gene altering become more effective and easier to implement, we could see a whole new breed of giant, creepy animals, from pigs to chickens and maybe even house cats. Thanks for watching. What's your favourite giant creature? Let me know in the comments, and if you've enjoyed the video, be sure to hit that subscribe button. See you next time.